Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great day. Welcome to the Kelly and Trevor Show. Uh-oh.
Hey everybody.
I thought we had a lag there. You were like frozen for a half a second, and I'm like, what's going
Oh,
on?
oh, uh-oh. That's not
Oh,
good.
it's all good. It's all good. How's your day going, Kelly?
It's been great. It's been a fantastic day. Very busy. Got to work with a lot of people, had a lot of fun, had some real success in some areas. And I just want to give a shout out to my client real quick, Gordon. I'm not going to give his last name out because he may not want me to, but so Gordon he is my champion client. 2 years ago, he had a massive stroke, completely paralyzed on the right side. And about 3 weeks ago, he started walking on his own without a cane.
Wow,
And
that's incredible.
it's amazing. And he can now walk from his bedroom to the front door of his house and back. It's phenomenal.
That's amazing.
So I
Congratulations.
not be more proud of him. He has worked so hard, and yeah, he is a true champion. Someone just said, Kelly, so good to see you. It's so good to see you too, but I can't tell who you are. On this platform that we're on, we can't see names. So please tell me who you are.
Yeah, I know it's kind of weird, hey, with StreamYard, but I know
I
it's
know. I wish that StreamYard would
show us
um
the names.
yeah, show us the names. Show us
Yeah,
the
it's
names.
all
But
good.
whoever that is, I'm happy to see you too. Very
But
happy to
that
see
is,
you. So Trevor, tell me
yeah,
about your day.
I was gonna say with Gord, that is amazing, like freaking crazy. Because listen, bouncing back from a stroke like that it's not easy. It's hard work. You have to put in the time, the dedication, physical therapy, the nutrition, all that has to come together for you to sort of recover off of that massive injury right to the brain. So like that's fantastic. So that's a wonderful celebration. It's
He's
amazing.
got great strength on his right side now, and he can actually, hold his arms out and stand and sit down without holding on to anything, which
Wow,
is just amazing.
nice,
So I'm
good.
just so proud of you, Gordon. I hope if you're not watching, I'll definitely make sure that you get this to watch. So
Good.
Trevor, tell me about your day.
Good, doing well, doing awesome. Working with the clients and writing a whole bunch of meal plans today, and helping people lose body fat without having to go on a diet. So it's great. It was a fantastic day today. Can't complain. I never can complain when I can help people lose body fat. That's for sure.
Yes, I think you and I both, we kind of thrive off of helping people, and I know for me it's passion. I know for you it's definitely a passion. So that's why we're here for you guys.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
so our
that's the
top,
thing. I mean, that's why we do these shows. I'm sorry, I know I interrupted you, but that's why we do these shows because really, honestly, we want to give you guys lots of value on these shows. Like our whole thing is like give you guys the value to max out your life, right, Kelly, and to really max out your health so that you
yeah,
can develop the body that you really want. And that's what we do here. Like if you guys want us to talk about certain things, drop them in the comment. Let us know because we're really about value exchange. If we give you guys value, then the whole thing is we want you to share the show with others and to help other people. That's how we're going to help and change the world is if you share the show with other people, and it's very easy for other people to get this information.
definitely. So today our topic is sunscreen, and we were actually, Trevor and I were talking offline about this topic a little bit, and I think he and I kind of see things the same, which actually might be a little bit different from the norm. And so, Trevor, why don't we just start it off? Your general thoughts about sunscreen?
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing with sunscreen. I mean, I totally understand that, there's certain times that we may need to go have sunscreen on our skin. My whole thing is this, like, there are so many different chemicals in sunscreen. Like, what do those chemicals do within our body, right? Because our skin is our largest organ in our body, right? And so if we're lathering our skin up with sunscreen, all of those chemicals, I'm going to call them chemicals because that's what they are, they leach into the pores, and that gets into your body and can cause different things to happen within your body. And that's the one concern that I have. Now, I'm all about staying safe in the sun. Don't get me wrong, because I know people are going to be like, he's anti-sunscreen, bad, Trevor, right? But, you have to realize that there are certain, chemicals in the sunscreen that can affect your body negatively and cause a lot of inflammation, cause a lot of things to sort of go array, especially because, that gets into your pores. Your pores, especially in hot weather, open up, right? And those pores become porous and can suck in all those chemicals. All right. So I hear the binging happening somewhere. So I know it's like people are like, commenting already about that. But anyway, those are my
is people like, what?
what? No sunscreen? But I'm saying, like, maybe if it's like 100 degrees and you're out there for like hours and hours, yeah, maybe you need a little bit of protection. But again, that maybe is personal choice is not to go out in the sun when it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside and to stay inside for a little bit. But yeah, those are my general thoughts. Again, Kelly, you can kind of bounce off the ideas here and see if we sort of match in regards to that.
I think I tend to agree generally for the most part. I've heard people before say, the moment you wake up, you need to lather yourself with sunscreen every single day, and even multiple times during the day, you need to double check, put more sunscreen on. And for those of you out there who have skin cancer or who have had skin cancer, I'm not trying to belittle your experience in any way. And if you feel very strongly about needing to wear sunscreen all the time, I'm not trying to put that down, because I want to be respectful of you and your thoughts on that. But for me personally, there are a few things. For one, I'm a naturalist, so I try to go as natural as possible on everything that I do. And sunscreen is not really a natural thing unless you can figure out, some kind of all natural sunscreen out there that doesn't have any weird sounding chemicals or anything. Please let me know if you find that, because I've looked. There are some products out there. They tend to be really expensive. You can get like a little container for like $50. And it's like that's one use. So you go out to the beach for $50. That's a little ridiculous if you ask me. But so for one, I'm a naturalist. And like you, Trevor, I want to know what is in my sunscreen, and I want it to be as clean as possible. And also there's the whole vitamin D issue. And I do kind of feel like if you're wearing sunscreen all the time, you are kind of, there is a barrier, there to keep you are keeping the UV out, but the vitamin D is really important. And actually, from a lot of things I've read and studied, we're generally highly deficient in vitamin D, and it's a really important vitamin to have in our bodies. So I feel like, you can go outside without sunscreen. I feel like it's okay. I go outside I very seldom put sunscreen on unless I know I'm going to be out in the blaring sun for hours and hours. And then I will find I have sunscreen, which is the cleanest that I've been able to find. But other than that, I'm a free bird. And
free bird.
I know that might be controversial to some people. So what do you think, Trevor?
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you, Kelly. I mean, again, I think, you have to look at every individual and every individual is a little different, right? And their story behind their skin care and skin health is different. Just like when I work with a client, I'm not giving the same meal plan to every client, right? It's the same sort of thing. Everything is individualized. It really depends on where you live, your skin, like your skin pigmentation, how,
Right. Yes,
the fair
definitely.
skin, medium skin, dark skin. Like, again, it depends on those types of things. I mean, if you're very, very fair skin and you burn really quickly, it may be beneficial to have a light sunscreen. But again, if you're only going out for 10 or 15 minutes, maybe you're going to the grocery store, buying some groceries, or maybe you're doing some other errands, you don't have to put sunscreen on. Like, it's the whole thing is, maybe you have protective hat, maybe you wear longer sleeve shirts, maybe you don't expose your skin as much, right? And like for myself personally, yeah, like I'll go out in the sun if it's hot, and if I'm staying over an hour in the sun, yeah, I'll definitely put on some sunscreen. But I'll never like just, oh my god, I have to go out in the sun and I have to put on sunscreen, right? And I'm a fairer like skin guy, like I'm European, so we have fairly fair skin. So, I do burn easily, but I don't worry about it too much. Because again, like yourself, like I'm a naturalist, like I want to not put like chemicals in my body, or I want to stop that cycle, right? So yeah, I try for myself to not use sunscreen I only use it when I absolutely need to.
Exactly. And you know, I'm sure that there will be some feathers ruffled here, and that's okay because there's room for all opinions on this. But I remember watching, he's a very famous news broadcaster one time. I'm not going to give out his name either, but I remember one time he did a segment on sunscreen, and he said, from the moment you wake up, you need to, that's the first thing you do is you put on your sunscreen. And he said, and you need to make sure that you get every little spot. Don't miss any. So you might want to put like double coats on just to make sure you don't miss any area. And I was like, this is ridiculous. This is
It's like overboard, right? Overkill. Yeah.
yeah. And this particular news broadcaster, if you knew who he was, it would kind of like make sense. But I remember watching that, and I was like, that's, in my opinion, I think that's nuts, because for one, we're made to live, and that's taking up a lot of time and energy, to be worrying about all that. And the way I look at it is, we're all, like, I have a friend, and her saying is, no one gets out alive in this,
Yeah.
in this thing called life. No one actually gets out alive. So the way I look at it is, if this doesn't kill you, something else is going to kill you. So we still have to live. And I'm a naturalist, so I'm going to choose the natural way. And people have been, for centuries they didn't have sunscreen.
Well,
So
that was, I was just gonna point that out, is like, we look at our ancestors. I mean, obviously our ancestors didn't use sunscreen. I mean, our ancestors were hunters and gatherers and were out in the sun for hours and hours. So granted, of course, probably, thousands of years ago, we didn't have crazy hot climates, granted, but it was still hot. There was still sun. There was still, there was everything happening. So, like I always just think like, why, like, where is this coming from, right? I always look back at like, the root cause of everything. Like, of course, you have the skin cancer, you have cancer agencies, and sort of like pushing this stuff out to people, say you got to put your sunscreen on, you got to do this, you got to make sure you lather up all of the parts of your body, because or else you're going to get skin cancer. And I also think it's kind of a little bit of a scary tactic sometimes, like getting people so afraid to like just not even to step out in the sun and be like, oh my god, I got to put my sunscreen on, or else I'm going to get skin cancer. Like I feel sometimes like our world has been so like there's that blanket of scared, making people scared and afraid. And I think we just need to get liberated from that. Like, don't worry about if you don't have sunscreen on, it's not like the end of the world. Like, you're okay. Your body is very like, again, it's very adaptable, right? Unless you're spending hours and hours and hours out in the sun and you're like always in the sun, you should not be super, super concerned about it.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that it starts at a young age. I see a lot of parents, they've got their new baby, and I get it. They've got their new baby and they're like, oh my gosh, my baby, I can't let my baby get burned. And so they're lathering the sunscreen, and then they're a toddler every time out in the sun. Oh my gosh, got to make sure you've got plenty of sunscreen on. And so I think it kind of starts that fear kind of starts at a young age now,
Mhm.
where like my generation as kids, we didn't hardly ever wear sunscreen. And then slowly, as I was like a preteen, that's when it really started coming on. So I guess I kind of missed that a little, which maybe sort of why I don't know. I mean, my parents were certainly like, if you want sunscreen, put it on, but we're never like, oh my gosh, we gotta lather down every time we go outside. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like a generational thing of how you're taught as well.
yeah, it was kind of the same way with my parents. I mean, like, yes, we had the sunscreen in the house, but it wasn't like pushed on us, right? Like we were, I remember going to like Massey Pool, right? And like, you'd have the sunscreen, but I think it was not something that was like, you have to have it on. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yes, if we're going to be here for 4 hours, maybe have some, but you're not, constantly always putting it on, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it becomes like almost a psychosis after a while. If you're so, especially something like that, like if you're doing it daily, it becomes like, oh, you're aware of like I don't put sunscreen on every day. So I'm not in that world of worrying about skin cancer. I may have skin cancer. I was a lifeguard for 5 years. I certainly did get burned. I may very well get skin cancer. I will accept that. But I'm not going to live my life fearing every day, oh my God, oh my God. Um, I just choose not to live that way. And I think if you're obsessed with putting on sunscreen every day, it's kind of like always in your mind. How like even sometimes when you're trying to prevent something, if you're thinking about it all the time, sometimes you create that disease just
Yeah, it's
by.
almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, almost like you have that constantly in your head. You're like, oh, I don't want to get skin cancer. I don't want to get skin cancer. And like the whole thing sort of like spirals and you have that self-fulfilling prophecy almost happen. So yeah, it's scary because I can see how that can sort of spiral out of control. But I also believe that there's that flip side where, you can be more like you can be self-conscious about like this type of thing, but not be overly obsessive about it. And I think that's the important thing is sort of know when it's okay not to wear sunscreen and be okay with it
Yeah.
rather than being like, oh my God, I need it all over my face and all over my body. Right. You have that, there's that fine line, right? And I understand where people come from because we have been taught that skin cancer is scary and it's the monster in the room and you have to really protect your skin at all times. If you go out in the God forbid you go out in the sun without a hat on or without sunscreen on, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get skin cancer. It's gonna come after you. But it's our bodies are very resilient, right? And I think it also comes into internal health as well. Internally, if you're healthy, skin cancer is not going to affect you, right? It's not because your body can be very, very, it's very resilient, especially if you reduce inflammation and you improve the internal health of your body. There is less chance, and I'm not saying a zero chance, but a less chance that your body will develop these types of cancers.
Exactly, because your body is working optimally, so it has the energy and the resources to, when there is a skin cancer that appears, it
You can
has the
eliminate it.
resources to go in. So I'd love to see the science on, people who tend to live more unhealthy lifestyles, what the rate of that is. I could be completely off. I could be completely
I don't
out
know.
of.
They could have, they could have in regards to scientific studies around that. I'm not even really sure, but it'd be interesting to kind of to search and see if there's stuff like that out there for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really would.
yeah. But,
So,
I mean, again, like I know this is such a heavy topic, and I think like there's a lot of people that could be watching that feel like, wow, like that's a completely different way to think. But again, like this is just a way to raise some awareness around this stuff and to kind of get you guys thinking. I think thinking is one of the most important things that we could do because it raises our level of awareness about things, right? And I think sometimes it's really good not to go with the mainstream media and kind of go away from what people have been taught or what people are what other media has taught you, because again, we all are free thinkers and we can all think about what we want. And again, like Kelly had mentioned, like this is, you can think one way about sunscreen and somebody else could think the other way. It's not right or wrong, but we just want to give you a different perspective, right? And if you've been battling with this, the sunscreen issue for a while, maybe now is a good time to take a look at it and say, is this really necessary?
and we're not saying do not wear sunscreen. Neither one of us is saying that at
No.
all. But I will say, if you are going to wear sunscreen, especially if you're going to be one of the daily sunscreen wearers, really look at the chemicals in sunscreen. So, a couple of things that I want to put up here real quick, if I can get my computer started.
Are you going to share your screen?
Well, actually, no, because I pulled it up on my iPad, and I'm not that technically sophisticated yet to have it jump all the way over here. So, a couple of things to watch for, a couple of chemicals to look out for in your sunscreen that are like big no-nos. So anything that sounds like oxybenzone, okay, octinoxate, homosalate,
Crazy, yeah.
oxysalate, octicrylene, avobenzone, and actually it's interesting. It says titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. Those to me are the two that seem to be the most healthy. So anyway, those are some interesting.
Those are big chemical compounds, right? Like, I mean, those, I barely understand what that means in regards to like the scientific, the
Yeah,
chemical combinations, right? Like, it's pretty heavy
right.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, octinoxate. I mean, really, do you really want to put that in your body? I mean, because hopefully most of us know by now, when you put something on your skin, you are literally putting it in your body. Okay. So when you put something in, it goes through your pores and then it's in your body and your body absorbs it. So you put toxic chemicals that are in lotions or sunscreen, any of that, you put that on your skin, it's going into your body. And to me, over time, that can be more problematic than if you're just in and out and about, out in the sun, not like a lifeguard. Okay, a lifeguard needs to have sunscreen on. People who do like road construction out in the hot sun all day long on the pavement, they need sunscreen. And but someone who's just like in and out doing errands, and not just like basking in the sun. Personally, I don't think you need sunscreen. I save that for those occasions where you are going out to the beach for several hours, things like that.
Well,
Because we don't know those chemicals coming in. We don't know what they are and what they will do to our bodies.
Well, and that's the next thing I was just going to ask. I mean, like those chemical compounds, how much do they change the cellular structure, right? How much do they actually change the cells functioning, right? And that's the problem, right? So we don't know what these compounds do at the cellular level of the body, right? Or there's maybe not even been researched properly. Where yes, sure, it's FDA approved, but do we really know long term what all of these chemical compounds in sunscreen actually do long term, right? And
Yeah,
that's even
right.
more scarier to think about than you know I don't know, in my opinion, anyway, scary to think about than skin cancer because you're changing the molecular structure of your cells based on
Hormonally as well,
your hormone. Yeah.
hormonally, what's it doing? What's it changing in that hormone balance in our bodies? Um, you know, we don't know.
Driving
And
up estrogen, right? That's the big thing,
yeah,
right? I mean,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
there's so much to speculate on that. Again, like with the studies, if you look at scientific studies, it'll show you. But those are one
And
things that we need to really look at. Like, what are we putting in our body? I always look at the food, but it's everything that you put on your skin as well.
so moving on, since we're talking about skincare, the general topic, and Misty Hamilton, she said she agrees with us. So
Hey, Misty!
thank
Yeah.
you, thank you. We appreciate that. Um, so skincare in general, skincare in general. So same thing with lotions. It's the same thing with lotions. There are so many weird chemicals in lotion. And that is really something that people are putting on their bodies every day.
Yeah, that's something that even for myself, it's tough because in Canada, I live in a really dry climate. So for myself personally, that's one of my things that I need to work on, and is not putting as much lotion or reducing lotion because like my skin, because it's so dry here in Canada in Saskatchewan, that's something that I need to work on for sure because I am guilty of that for sure. And I always know that in the back of my brain saying, oh, I should be putting this on. So you have to probably look for more natural based lotions.
So this is my biohack for my skin. And there's a lot of science to back me up. Um, and some people might say, okay, that's weird. I love it, and I think it's probably what I will do for my skin forever, unless somebody just really wows me with some kind of really incredible all natural lotion. But I use straight out of the tub uh, organic coconut oil.
I knew you were going to say that. And I was going to say coconut oil too. I was thinking I should start using coconut oil for my skincare.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I've used it for 5 years, and it makes my skin so soft. And it helps with sunspots. And I just love my skin and with coconut oil. And really, I feel like my skin has never felt more um hydrated, softer, clearer. And it's cheap.
Of
I
course.
mean, there's
Yeah.
so many lotions out there that are really expensive. And I'm always like, $7 for like a big tub. And I'm like, and it lasts a long time.
Okay. So the deal is I'm going to start using coconut oil tomorrow just to just see how this works. And I'll report back to you next week and show you, hey, like I've been using this. And I just want to see the difference because
So
you're right. I
so
eat coconut oil, right? I eat it every single day.
yeah,
So why not put it on my
exactly.
skin, right?
I love it. And it was actually an esthetician who passed that little tip on to me, and I was like, "Huh, okay." I mean, that was I've always had like biohacker tendencies, and so I was like, coconut oil, that's right down my alley. And so I tried it, and I was hooked, and I just loved it. And like I said, I don't plan on ever using anything else.
That's awesome. Great,
Other
great
yeah.
biohack. And for sure, I love coconut oil because I eat it all the time. So that's wonderful. I'm going to be definitely using that for the lotion on my skin from now on. And it's great. This is such a great conversation. I really have enjoyed it, Kelly. I know that we're sort of running out of time. So we have to talk about our trivia question. Do we have a trivia question?
There's one more thing though that I want to add to the
Oh,
whole
okay. Yeah.
skincare. We got to add one more thing, and it's really important. Can you guess what it is?
Oh, it's probably I'm gonna take a wild stab at this, but it's showering and putting your like soap, the soap, like what like skin, like I can't even talk right now. What is the stuff you put on your skin? Um Body wash.
Well, we didn't get into body wash, but I guess that is something that we could get into. I think the body wash is the same as the lotion issue.
It's
You
probably even
want
worse because you're under hot water and it opens up the pores, right? So that sucks
yeah.
everything in so much faster.
So you definitely want to look at the chemicals in whatever soap, gels, uh, any of that stuff. You want to look at the chemical. I mean, yeah, the toxicity. And you guys, by the way, there is an app out there called Think Dirty, and you can get this app and any product, almost any product out there. If you're curious, you just type in the product and it will give a rating for how toxic that product is. And
Oh, good.
like Dawn, do you ever use Dawn, Trevor?
I've never used, no, Dawn's something I've never used. Even in a kid, I don't think we had Dawn in the house.
I used to use Dawn all the time because they cleaned the ducks in the commercials, the ducks in oil, and they cleaned the ducks. Dawn was terrible on the Think Dirty app. I was really shocked.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
so anyway, so you can go to this Think Dirty app, and any of your household chemicals and beauty supplies, all that stuff, you can put it in and get the rating for that stuff.
We used as a kid. I remember we used Ivory soap. That was the soap that we used when I was a kid.
Ivory. I think I remember seeing Ivory. I think Ivory was better. Dove was good.
Dove. We used Dove too. Yeah.
Yeah, Dove was not bad. And then I use Life Vantage products, and they're like at the top, like some of the best that you can get. So but that actually, the shower gel was not what I was thinking. I was thinking of the best thing that you can do for your skin is, especially after you've been out in the sun,
Oh, yes, of course. Hydrate, water.
hydrate. Our bodies are 60 to 70% water. So, and especially when you're outside, you're out in the heat, you're sweating a lot. And so, you're losing a lot of water. The sweating is actually good for your skin, but you want to replenish that. So, hydration is my number one skincare tip.
Yes, I agree 100%. Water, water, water. I push that all the time. 2 to 4 liters of water a day. That's awesome. And so, yeah, you're right. Especially if you're in a hot sun, you should be drinking a little bit more water because you're sweating profusely and pushing water and sodium out of your body through your pores. So you got to replace that for sure.
Yeah. So just to recap, we're not saying absolutely no on sunscreen. We're just saying maybe limit it. I think our recommendation, unless you have like ultra fair skin, would be not daily, unless you're one of these people that is out in the sun for hours on end every day. And then, of course, when you do have those moments where you go out to be out in the sun, put some on, to be out for hours, put some on.
100%. Yeah.
2, make sure that sunscreen has as little of the products, the chemicals that you can't understand what they are. Look in the ingredients, and if you don't understand the chemicals, it's probably better to stay away from that. And even though they may say organic on there, it's still not always organic. And I do want to put a plug in for my friend Sabrina V. She was on my show last week, and she's with a company called Pure Haven. And they have a sunscreen that it smells good. It has titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. That's it. And to my knowledge, those are pretty safe. So if you're interested in finding out about this sunscreen, I can certainly get you connected for that. I will put that little plug in for some sunscreen.
Good. I love it. That's fantastic.
And then, of course, drinking water.
Loving the water. No, it's always good. Fantastic. No, this has been really good. This has been a great talk. I hope that our audience has really gleaned some new information from this, because again, it's all about changing how people think around sunscreen and the sun. I think it's really, really important to realize that the sun is not our worst enemy when it comes to this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's all good. I love this talk, Kelly. It was fantastic to chat about this today.
So we got to give away some prizes.
What was our trivia question? Man, oh man, this has been a crazy week. So what was the trivia question?
So our trivia well, it's a short week too, because usually we meet on Fridays. So we have, I usually feel like, oh, I've got the whole week to prep for the show. And then today I was like, wait a minute, what?
It's all good. I remember what it is now. I was just refreshing. It's, who is your favorite all-time teacher?
Yes.
Yes.
So my favorite all-time teacher was my 4th grade teacher, and her name is Pat Wimbush. And so I'm going to tag her after this so she can see this. But Trevor, what's yours?
That's awesome. My favorite teacher was my band teacher, Mr. Brent Giglione. We called him Mr. G. And the guy was very fun. Like, he's got a really great personality. But when he was like teaching band, he would get pretty intense, like really intense. And there was times where if you didn't play the right note, he would maybe I shouldn't say this, but he would throw stuff at, maybe like not at you, but he would just get really intense because he was that passionate about music. But, me and him developed a pretty good relationship, and it was, I was a trumpet player, and then I eventually moved into bari sax and played like jazz band and stuff. So, I played band all the way to grade 11. And then I got more into sports, and then that was that. But Brent is a really great guy and still teaches music to this day. And he loves the performing arts. He loves music. So yeah, no, that was my all-time favorite teacher in high school, I guess, because it was high school.
What instrument did you play?
So I played the trumpet for a bit, and then I played bari sax. First tenor sax, and then bari sax.
Okay.
I thought it was so cool with my bari sax because it was very unique, and how bari sax are, like how they look, like they got the sort of the circle, it's like it's huge, what I mean? I remember grade 8 and 9, carrying this huge like case, like, because with the, you got to fit in this big case, and it's a big instrument. It's huge. I don't know if there's any sax players out there, like guys, any people that play instruments or anything, but yeah.
If you play the sax, put that in the comments.
Yes.
So our answers are, mine is Pat Wimbush, and Trevor's is Mr. G. Can we be good with Mr. G?
Mr. G, yeah, Mr. G. He also did, it was funny because he did like commercials too for like a tire, like a local tire store that we had here. And he was dubbed the Madman. So it was kind of like a funny thing. Like, I could maybe like YouTube it, but whatever. That's probably too much information right there. Maybe I'm giving away too much information about him, but it's a really fun. He's a fun guy.
Sounds very fun. Okay, so if you are here and you hear the answer to our trivia questions, please put them in the comments. And if you are the first person to comment the answer, we will be giving Trevor's got is it a week of
30
meal
days.
plans?
30 days.
days.
We'll get
Oh
to
my
play
gosh,
around with the meal plans.
That's insane. And then I have my special coffee that I'm sending out. So I think that's going to be a wrap for this week. We aren't going to be on for Friday. I've got an obligation. So Trevor, I guess we'll be back on Monday to give you guys next week's topic. And anything else you want to add, Trevor?
Hey, well, I'm really grateful for you guys to listen. I know, if you're watching on the replay or even if you're live, thank you so much for spending some quality time with us. You can choose to do whatever you want in this 45 minutes. So we really appreciate you just spending some quality time with us and, improving your health, because that's what it's all about. So, thank you so much. And we're super grateful for our audience. Make sure just to share the show if you found value in this and if you want other people to hear this message too. So click the share button wherever that is and then share it out to your friends and family.
Yes. And whatever platform you're on, please give us a comment. Please tell us if you liked it. Please tell us if you don't like it. Please tell us where you're from. We want to hear from you guys. So please, it's all very interactive, and we want you guys to feel like you're a part of the fun, because we're having fun, right, Trevor?
We're having fun. All comments are welcome because we have fun here.
All right, you guys. Yep. So hopefully we've given you things to think about as far as skincare. Like we said, we're not giving out any advice, just our opinions. We're not doctors, so we can't prescribe or anything like that. And we're certainly not, we're not trying to do that by any means. So hope you guys have a great evening wherever you are. And thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you so much. Trevor?
Thank you so much for watching. Let's biohack your body fat and become biohackers, right? We got to give them like a little flex, remember? All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you on Monday, guys.
Have a great day.
Bye for now.